away we go to start off FRLT Season 2. Hello, and welcome back to FRLT. It is Sunday once again, and we return for Fords this Sunday. And it is great to be back, and this week, of course, it is the track of Qatar. Here is the track layout: 5.380 kilometers, 3.343 miles, 16 turns, 1 DR zone down the pit straight. We're currently sorting the lobby at the moment. We should be going in a few minutes' time. We might be slightly late today. Yeah, so at the moment we're just sorting the final few invites going out to people. And then we will be underway very shortly. We'll be getting going in the next few minutes. If anything would like to load. Just give me a minute. I'm just sorting the last couple of drivers getting into the lobby. It's a bit slow at the moment. Currently struggling to get some people in, some people struggling to get in a little bit here tonight, which of course is slightly frustrating. We currently have 12 in. But yes, while we're here, we might as well have a little look at the standings at the moment. Currently, top of the standings, TTRE on 137 points, followed by SET on 71. Then AB struggling in the standings, didn't race last race, down to third now. XPG close behind, followed by VEL in last. So yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one. We still only got... at the moment. We're waiting on a couple of drivers. Quite a few drivers are late right now. As invites are not coming through nicely today. They're taking forever to actually come through, which is really starting to annoy me a bit. I need to spectate again. Okay. how's life these days? Not doing doing all right. The moment we're having a couple of difficulties with drivers getting in. Nothing is coming through, so we're having a little bit of a problem. We're up to 16. We're missing a few others. I'm gonna have to add somebody quick. Today is proving to be a fun day. Just want to sort some things. Apologies for this being a little bit slow and a little bit late. FN. Yeah, this isn't working. Great. Yeah. This is messing around a bit. This is great. It isn't working. At the moment, it is not. This is quite painful. Nothing is coming through. Nothing is working. I do apologise, everybody. This is actually awful. Why has everything stopped working? The one time everything should be working, it isn't. Okay, we'll just wait another minute. Yes, so we should be going in the next few moments. Okay. Okay, we have 18 drivers in. We're a little bit short on drivers at the moment. Just at this current second, we're a little bit short. Hello F1 Shorts, welcome to the stream. Apologies for me being a little bit all over the place. We're going to get going now. We are heading in. We'll take you to the screen in the next few moments. I hope everybody's having a great evening. Hello, your average racing driver and F1 Shorts. Also, hello, Timon. It's good to see you here tonight. It's to see everybody. We are now in. We've finally gotten to the point where we're in. taking a little bit longer than usual to get going, but we are in. Tonight's going to be an interesting one. We saw about the standings, of course. We saw a couple, TTRE leading by an absolute mile in the championship, which is something interesting. That TTRE have been so dominant. They've won they've won 4 out of 4 so far now, which is quite strange. We haven't had that. We've never had a team ever win 4 out of 4. No team has ever won all of the opening 4 races of the season. As you can see, we've got 18 drivers and we are missing 2. One driver is presumably making pot noodle, and so we are currently waiting on an Alpine to join, and we're also missing, I think we're missing who are we missing? I know we're missing an Alpine, and I think we're missing a Sauber as well. I think that Sauber hasn't yet asked for an invite or anything. I'll double check now, because I haven't seen anything from I haven't seen anything from one of the Force drivers, so who knows. But drivers are starting to head out onto the track now. Let's get all of the on-screen stuff going, as it is a McLaren out on track, and that McLaren is ABE Callum out on track now. ABE Callum in the McLaren, of course. Gonna be an interesting one to see tonight, I must say. It is gonna be an interesting one, nonetheless. I think there's quite a few things, of course, that we got at the moment. This race is going to be incredibly important championship-wise because of course it is. It purely is. This race is going to be the thing that is going to define whether TTRE pull further into the lead of the constructors, and to be honest, pretty much confirm winning the constructors championship. If I was being honest, it is pretty much confirming that they've won the constructors, because after this we do only have 4 races left. Only 9 race season. But the first driver to start off his lap is Callum, and he's going to cross the line, start it now, heading down the pit straight. It is quite a long pit straight. He will have an Alpine in the way. He moves over to the left-hand side, now throwing the car into turn 1. A little bit of understeer coming in there. Now into, again, another long turn 2. Not as long and not as fast, but so far pretty good. And through turn 3 he goes. He's got turn 4 and 5 coming up next. Turn 4, 90-degree corner. Turn 5, an exact identical corner, another 90-degree corner, before hitting into turn 6, the hairpin, which is quite round and quite open, but you can spin on it, so it was quite nice for him to get through it without a problem. Now heading through the next few corners up through this middle sector, fastest section of the track, and that is pretty nice through there. It doesn't look like any mistakes are coming from the McLaren at the moment. No mistakes. Very, very clean lap, I will say. An incredibly clean lap so far. Heading up through the triple right-hander now. Through the final part. Very nice. And now into the penultimate corner. Taking it easy, not pushing it too much. Not pushing track limits at all. And into the final corner. ABE Callum goes nicely, and he does it, and that is his lap done, and it is a 1 minute 20.772, which is going to be the first time to beat tonight. I think it was AB Edward who was on a lap. He was on mediums though. So that is that. I don't know who else is coming up to the line next. It was Sonic. He did a 1 minute 22.446. Second in the championship, not having the best of luck so far. Not where he exactly wants to be. Trying to find the next one. That was Power Twan, who goes into P2, 1 minute 21.342. And Flume, who ultimately sits slightly behind his teammate in third. SET getting their laps done very early in this session, I will say. Incredibly early in this session. We've got Sem, who's on a lap at the moment. I think we've got Geekin coming around. He's invalidated his lap in the end. We've got a Mercedes, which is going to be... it is going to be Trusted, who's coming round. And he goes P2, sliding up the order a little bit further. And then we've got It's Wooder, not going well, invalidated already. Brushy Pancakes also invalidating in this qualifying. Not good from the first few. I mean, Callum's already made his way back round. Luxy has disconnected. Really not good there to have a disconnection. We do have, shockingly, Spinala King coming round. And to cross the line, he's going to go into P5, second to last. Not exactly where he wants to be. Zalix not helping himself now into P6. Pavanir up to the line. It's P6 for him. Everybody's going P6 at the moment. Nobody seems to be able to get in a lap past P6. As now, finally, Harrison goes into P2. Solid. Incredibly solid lap there from him. Quite an interesting one there, I will say. TTRE with Trusted and Harrison, by the way, tonight. And Wooder and Spinala. Quite mixed there so far from themselves. Looking at the grid, though, Sem, by the way, just going into P2. AB still on top in the title charge they very much need at the moment with Callum. His teammate unable to set a lap. Edward unable to set a lap. And Luxy unable to set a lap. He needs an invite quickly. Luxy needs an invite. So, in this little break we have, I'll send the invite. Hopefully it doesn't happen again for Luxy because he is losing qualifying time. By the way, I'm still slightly under the weather, so I will be coughing consistently throughout the stream. I think we've got Lumi on his way round. He's going slow though, so Lumi not on a push lap. I think the next driver on a lap is Harrison. Yeah, Harrison's on a lap now. He's making his way round. Has he got the fuel? He's gone. Yeah, he has got the fuel. He's making his way round. Let's see, can he improve? Just half a tenth behind Sem at the moment for P2. XPG up there in the fight. And that's an interesting one, though, to see XPG up in the fight again this week. And Harrison up by a tenth, actually, in the first sector. So he's finding time on those tyres where others haven't been able to so far. So that's going to be an interesting one as the session goes on, of course, because, you know, drivers finding more and more time is not what, for instance, ABE need, because, they're, you know, Callum, number one, he's P1 at the moment off of the first lap, and he's far ahead as well, almost 3/10 ahead of everyone else. Harrison only up by 77 thousandths now, so he will only slot into P2. Let's see, can he find some time in the final sector, which is quite short, I must say. It is a very short final sector. Only lasts, it's the shortest sector of them all, actually, on the entire track. Coming around the final corner he comes. What can Harrison set as a lap time? Is it going to be an improvement? Yes, it will. But he stays P3, only 1/1000th of a second now behind Sem, as AB Edward just slots into P8. Pretty solid there from himself. We've got a Red Bull coming round. That is Flume, who's on his way around. We then have Lumi, who is coming into the pits. And then we have a Williams somewhere. It is actually Flame. It is XPG Flame himself. He hasn't set a lap so far. He'll be hoping to finally set a lap in this session because it's taken him a little while to do that. Now coming up to the line. And across the line he goes. It is going to be P4. slotting just behind Harrison and his teammate. So it is incredibly close between these guys at the moment. I will say that it is incredibly close right now. There's a Mercedes on lap that is trusted. And we do have a Williams that will be Sem on a lap. Then we've got Callum coming round. Then we have a Ferrari coming round, and that is Brushy Pancake. Is it Flume on his way around? No, it's not Flume. It's actually Geekin who's making his way around. Let's see what Geekin can do. When he comes around the final corner, still, he's had a couple, he's had his one attempt. He didn't get a lap. He is going to get a lap this time and a toe as Geekin goes fastest in this session. Fastest of all, beating Callum, first drive to do it. And that is the lap time set. We saw Flume just move into P6. This is what we were talking about. This is sort of what we wanted to see. Powertran coming up to the line next. He's just started his lap. We have an Aston Martin coming around. It's Wooder. It's actually his teammate Spinala King who's making his way round now. Let's see how Spinala King is going to perform. And up and across the line, Spinala King goes into P3. Solid position there. We've actually got to look to his teammate It's Wooder again. And across the line he only goes P14, so it's a struggle in the end. Trusted just went P4, slotting in as well. I think we've got Callum who is improving quite a bit on his lap. There's Chris Sticks coming around. He's not improving at the moment. We have Sem coming around who's improving massively on his lap right now. He's improving quite a bit as he's going to cross the line and now goes fastest of all. It's going to be immediately beaten by Callum, who goes over a 10th faster again in this session, even faster by the end of it all. We've got Zalix coming around, starting a lap. We've got Lumi following. And now this is again giving a toe. Like, oh my god. I generally feel like giving up sometimes. As now Powertran goes into P8. But look at this. 4th to 8th are split by just over a 10th of a second. 0.120 is what they're split by. Just over a 10th of a second splits 5 drivers at the moment, which is a crazy difference. We've got Luxy coming around. We then have Brushy Pancake, who's invalidated, and Christix, who's invalidated as well. Pavanir is making his way around. He's going slowly. Yeah, that's pretty much the second run's done. And it's interesting to see the improvement. You know, Pole has only improved by about 0.2 of a second, by just over 0.2 of a second. But the average gap has now come down by about half. So, and it was about 1.5 0.2 on average, I think, across the grid. Now it's about 1/10 of a second averaging between drivers. So the gap has reduced, and I think we just saw Lumi explode into P4. VEL pushing again for a podium, looking for a good result after a tough start to their season. Now, as we watch, I think Christix, he's invalidated again. We saw Luxy, only P16, and slowest of them all, AB, very split across the grid. First, 11th, 16th, and 18th at the moment. Not looking good for AB. Not exactly what they'll be wanting. So, we can see, I think Lumi's heading back into the pitch. Yes, he is. In a minute, we're only going to have one car out on track. He might go up to 2 before then, but still, I think it is Flume who's coming out onto track. So he's going to be the first driver to start their final runs. Flume coming round. He is now pretty much the only driver out on the track, being joined by a couple of others, but very much in an area of his own, on his own out there, I'd say at the moment. Not great to be on your own out there. He's got this massive lead. Only 3 drivers now out on track. He's on his own in Sector 2. The other 2 are Wooder and Pavanir. Which, of course, is an interesting mix that, you know, you've got a couple of you've got all the drivers who go from 10th to 15th out. You've got 10th, 12th, and 15th out, but you've got none of the top 9 and none of the rest of the bottom 9 drivers. Top 9 are out. And 6 of the bottom 9 not out on track. We've got 2 more coming out on track. But Flume, it's going to be the first driver to start off the final runs. We're only going to have about 2 minutes and 20 seconds by the time Flume crosses the line, just slightly less than that. And now the final runs do begin in this session. Let's see who is going to come out on top, which team is going to perform. There's going to be a Williams in the way of Flume. The Williams a little bit close there, a little bit too close for comfort. Flume not pushing now. I think Flume is very unhappy with what the Williams did there. To be honest, if it was me, I'd be quite unhappy as well. That was a very poor moving out of the way there from the Williams. That was Sem, I believe. Very poor from himself. Into turn 1, Pavanir goes. We'll be looking at the next drive for the final runs, heading round quite quickly. Let's see, can Pavanir improve? Half a second improvement would still only bring him out to, would bring him up to P6, but not a huge amount of positions can be gained for the moment, but a lot of time needs to be found. He's down actually by just 1,000th of a second. He's not finding the time, which could leave him at risk of really dropping back. The Haas gets out of the way quite early. I think that's Zalix there. Coming round. See the speed of Pavanir. He's going to fall into a lot of traffic as he comes round the next couple of corners. He's going to find himself struggling to get round quite a few drivers. But as we see now, heads up the hill. He heads up the hill towards the final 2 corners. Let's see. Into the final corner. Now he goes, whoa, he had that RB very, very close. He's going to get a bit of a slipstream down the pit straight now, and across the line he goes. He does improve by 0.2, and up to P11 he goes in the end. Wooder improves, and actually takes P12 while he's at it. We've got a Haas going around. That was Lumi. Flame staying out of the way, wanted to go last. I think it is Callum who is leading the group. Yes, he is. He's leading the group, and he's actually up by almost 700ths of a second. He could pull into a 20.4. Coming round. Middle sector, he's up by almost 800ths of a second, so we could be looking at 20.4 being the provisional time for drivers to beat. Oh, he's very much on the edge of the track limits. He's pushing everything he's got through the final few corners. Into the final corner we go. Can Callum improve? Can he improve even further into 20.4? Yes, he does. 45 thousandths quicker, and that is enough for himself. Edward up to the line next to his teammate. Crosses the line, goes P11. Lumi retires. Christix, P2. 1-2 at the moment. Brushy Pancake goes P3. We just saw a few others. Harrison just went P5. Asem back up onto the front row. 3 drivers setting almost identical times. We just saw Trusted cross the line. He's gone P6. Power Twan just went into P10. I think that's the top 10 almost done. We've got Flame coming round. Wood is coming round again. he set his final time. Flame is the last driver to come across the line. Let's see how he is going to do. And across the line, Flame goes. I'm not sure what position that is. Actually, I can't see what position that is. We'll have to see in a moment's time. Not sure. I'm not sure where he went. We'll figure out in a minute. He did go. He went P8 in the end. So let's do the grid for the race. AB Callum is on top, followed by Sem, Christix, Geekin, Bushy Pancake, TIR Trusted, Harrison, XPG Flame, Lumi, and Spinala finishing out the top 10. Power Twan, Flume, Edward, Pavanir, Itzwooder, Sonic, Zalix, and Luxy all finishing out the grid here for the qualifying before we go into a race. So we're going to be readying up in the next few minutes. We're going to be readying up at in the next 3 minutes. Once again, just a quick reminder, we'll look at the standings while we wait. TTRE on top. They're the only team that's ever won the first 4 races of a season. They've gone and done that. They're on top of the championship by miles, followed by then SCT almost with half the points. Then ABE with 53 points, XPG with 48, and VEL with 38. It's an interesting one this week. It's an interesting one. Very much. It's an interesting qualifying we've had. ABE showing performance first and third. TTRE struggling to get out of yeah, so gonna have to get going. In the next minute, we'll be getting going. I do think there is, of course, a massive sort of thing here for TTRE that they're not leading this. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one as we get into the race in the next minute or so. We won't. Lumi's having some PC problems. We're not having a restart because of PC problems. Sadly tonight we don't have the time for a restart. It is of course a Sunday. People have things to do on the Monday. So yeah, we're gonna be getting going now. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see today, how the race goes, how everybody does. Yeah, let's see as the lights will be coming on in the next few minutes. Now, here we go. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go here in Qatar for FRLT Season 3 4's Round 5. And it is time to go. And into Turn 1, it looks like ABE is going to be leading 1-2. McLaren's 1-2 at the moment. We're looking at a Hungary 2024 situation all over again. But it is an amazing start from the 2 ABE drivers, getting away exactly like they needed to, getting away from the grid and working the way he had to work. And now Lumi drops down the order. He's fallen out and it looks like it's not going to be good. But you can see at the moment, I think it is, it's Wooder outside the top 10. We've got, I think, 3 TTRE drivers inside of the top. 3 of the TTRE drivers inside of the top 10, but they're only 6th, 8th, and 9th. So this is a massive challenge on their championship at the moment. AB looking at 43 points. For now, they're looking at just 43 points, but it is closing in. And Harrison Round, this is a massive problem for TTRE. This has just completely beaten. This is completely beaten TTRE now into submission almost, because they're now stuck only 7th and 8th. Only 2 drivers inside the top 10. This is not the week for TTRE, but you can see the top 3 already starting to pull away, almost 9/10 of a gap. And now the gap has grown, and it is time to get racing. As you can see, it is going pretty mental at the moment between everybody, but they're going to start to level out soon. You can see Sem also on his... Whoa, there's a massive collision in the middle, in the first sector. I think that was Pavanir who's gone off. It is. He's down to last place now, and that is last place for himself, and that is disappointment for him. I think that was also with Luxy as well, so AB not coming off perfectly from it today. But yeah, these top 3 really starts to pull away, staying about 9/10 ahead. This could prove to be a big moment if they do break away. We could just see a top 3 sort of battle. We do have SET versus AB at the moment. So SET fighting for the championship because they need to make a massive push in the championship. They need to break into the sort of championship push, especially with only 5 races remaining. Only 5. Sem gets the 3-second time penalties, over a second behind now. So the top 3 have now split away. And Sem kind of at a bit of risk here. So will ABE Callum. He'll be at a lot of risk because Chris Stix is coming along to overtake his teammate into turn 1. I think there's going to be some team games here, and the lead will stay with ABE leading so far all of the 2 laps we've had, and their laps are going to go up this season. They haven't led, by the way. They've only led 6 laps in this entire season. They've only led 6 laps. At the moment, they've led 2, so that is adding on. But with their current pace, they might actually lead upwards. They could possibly lead more laps in this race than they led the entire season. But this is the teamwork that they need. Brushy Pancake, by the way, also getting up to 4th. So XPG pulling themselves 4th, 5th, and 6th. So they're going to be scoring massive points this week. They will really be scoring massive points. But yeah, at the moment, not really going well. TIR Trusted for TTRE down to 9th in this race as well. 7th and 9th now. Only 8 points on the board for TTRE. This isn't really going to help them. They're completely losing the plot here and losing a massive amount of points. And this isn't what they need. This is really the opposite of what they needed. I have to quickly invite Lumi back to the session because he needs an invite. If I can find him, if he's on this list. He isn't on this list. At the moment, Lumi's struggling to get back into the session as well. So, now, looking at Callum goes round. They've completely split away, and you can see Geekin's actually struggling at the moment to keep up. He's about half a second behind now, so he's dropping off of the front two. Very slightly, but it is still dropping off the front two. And now heading towards turn one. It's again going to swap around. We've got a bit of three-wide action going on further back here. XPG getting a little bit racy. All of the XPG drivers getting a little bit racy here. It's actually allowing Spinala King to get onto the back of Sem and trying to send it down the inside. Doesn't work. But now you can see Spinala King under attack from SET Sonic. This is a... Whoa! This is a pivotal moment in the championship because now Sonic has gone into P7 and has gained 2 more points to SET's campaign. And now they're outscoring them in 2 places now. And Powersran's going to be the next one to catch up to the back. But this is going a little bit crazy. So yeah, so at the moment, everything's going pretty smooth for all the teams. TTRE not having the best of days at the moment. Only 8th, 9th, 14th, and 15th out on track. So it's a very rough day for some of them. Christic still leads. And by the way, if AB lead this lap, they would have led the equivalent of their entire season of laps led. So it's not going perfectly, I'd say. It's definitely not going perfectly for anybody. It definitely hasn't gone perfectly for AB. They've had a very rough campaign. They're sort of seeing the same in Tier 1, by the way, as well. They dropped down to 2nd in the championship. They've lost the lead of the championship in Tier 1. They are, I think, only 10 points behind the championship leaders, or 9. So they're not too far behind. They're just slightly behind for the moment. They're 9 or 10 points behind. So AB not helping themselves in either of the championships, but they are still charging for something at least. But the top 3 have fully broken away, 2.3 seconds ahead of 4th. But from 4th, by the way, from 4th down to 12th are still all within DRS of each other, by the way. 4th down to 12th, that's now down to 11th. But 4th down to 11th now are all within DRS of each other. So you could see that they're actually all keeping really close with each other. You could just see everybody sliding through the corners. But the groups are starting to settle a bit. They're starting to settle a little bit better, a little bit more. So, yeah. You could just see that Flame, though, XPG. XPG, though, not great on pace this race, but they are sitting 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then I think that's it. One of their drivers not turning up tonight, but they are sitting 4th, 5th, and 6th with hefty points coming their way. 30 points would commonly walk their way, pulling themselves quite a bit closer to championship leaders who, at the moment, are only on for 6 points this race. So, really pull them in. But, of course, Sem does have that penalty, which would send him outside of the top 10, as it stands, by the way. It would send him outside of the top 10. Only 3 drivers without a penalty. Only 3 drivers without penalties at the moment. We'll have a little look at the tyres, mostly hard tyres. Only 5 drivers gone to the mediums. That's Zalek, Sonic, Geekin, Callum, and Christix. And penalties, Sem, Edward, and Luxy all having the penalties. The biggest gainer has actually been Sonic, up 9 places. Harrison's lost 7 or 6 now. Lumi's lost 8. So the race is, so some drivers getting brutally beaten around, but you can see that the front 3 just kind of they're slowly digging a gap into the lead of this race. They're slowly getting further and further out front, and this is kind of the struggle, I'd say. This is kind of the worst point for some, for a lot of teams, this is the point where the pressure starts to build because you're having to perform, you're having to make sure that every single lap you do is good enough. And of course, that might be difficult for some drivers to do. But you can see here that so far, the front three are handling this with complete and utter ease. They haven't let go of the lead or anything. They've consistently been there. And to be honest, you don't usually see that a lot. You don't see that pretty much at all. And that's probably one of the most interesting things, is that you don't see it very often. But it is going on here, and you can just see the front three very much dominant in their own way. Very much dominant. And now you can see Christix returns to the lead. Once again, the front three running on their own. Geekin. What a day it's been for Geekin. Been in this fight. He's been in this fight all along. But he's never really... He's been in the fight, but he hasn't at the same time, if you get what I mean. He's kind of sat roughly where he is now, a few tenths behind. Getting close to a few tenths behind. But seems to struggle to sort of... He hasn't been able to make a move. He hasn't actually gotten past either of the front two this entire race. And just to put in perspective, I've just noticed Flame on the hard tyres, he's starting to catch. The mediums have now dropped off. They've really dropped off now. And we're starting to see the hard tyres reeling them back in. They're about 7 tenths closer this lap than they were at the start. They're 7 tenths closer this lap alone. So they've really closed in. They're closing in massively. Just corner on corner, a few hundredths, a tenth or so. So, a lot of, really those medium tyres have now gone off. You look at this, 1.2 seconds now. Within striking distance, we're getting close to that sort of DRS zone. And that will really bring all of the 4th, 5th, and 6th into the battle for the lead. As now you can see Sonic enters the pit lane. But it's going to bring 4th, 5th, and 6th all into a DRS battle once again. Which is going to be interesting. But we can see Geekin's going for a move on Christix. And finally, Geekin gets past an ABE driver. It's taken him till the start of lap 10. It's taken him over 9 whole laps. It's taken him till lap 10. But he's finally made the move, and that's what he needs. Where's Sonic going to come out at the moment? Because he's gone for that earlier pit stop than others. He's down to 16th at the moment. He was 7th, by the way. So, he is 16th at the end of it all. So, he hasn't really gained anything from it. It's really dropped him very far down. 9 places lost, ultimately. But you can just see Geekin hunting down the leader's race. SET. Interesting thing about SET... because I've got this written in my notes, they haven't led a single lap of a race. SET are the only team this season who haven't led a single lap, which is rather strange. Which is something I've never seen, that second place team after 4 races hasn't led a single lap. But to be honest, nobody other than TTRE have really led any laps, because out of 4 races, TTRE have, and now they actually come in. Now, Callum and we see Geekin come in to the pit lane going on to lap 11. Let's see who's going to go where. Are they going to be ahead of Sonic? I think they'll be quite far ahead of Sonic, but we'll have to see how much time they have lost, because looking at Sonic, he's not far behind, actually. He's very close. I will say he's incredibly close to the front two. Whoa, and there's been a bit of a moment out further in front. Whoa, and Geekin's gotten in front of Callum. That is the net race lead for Geekin. Geekin has just achieved the net race lead. As now you can see AB Callum going for the move. But this is all starting to fall apart for AB here. A perfect 1-2 finish, 44 points in their pockets, and now falling apart a bit. They might only finish 2nd and 3rd. Possibly even lower, but you can see as now Geekin makes his way around. That was a really good move off of the exit of the pit lane. It's gained him places. It's gained him that important place over Callum, which has gotten him the net lead. But now he's chasing It's Wooder for P12 as now Christix comes into the pit lane. We'll see where Geekin will come out because he is coming up through here. So I do think Geekin will get out in front. He's definitely going to get out in front from where he is. He's going to be quite far in front, I'd say, actually. Yeah, he's looking like he's going to be miles in front of Christix, because Christix hasn't even gotten past the pit lane line at the end. He's just done it now. Where's he going to come out? Oh, you can see a bit of fighting. It's Wooder not allowing him past, but on the switchback... That is actually a beautiful move from Geekin on the switchback there. He's made the move, and he's ahead of both Callum and Christix, and that is the net race lead, and that's now allowed him to get through and up into P10 and into the points once again very quickly. Tyres. Yes, I'll be kind enough to show the tyres. Tyres-wise, everybody's on the hard tyres. Nobody's changed. There's a couple of drivers who are on old hards who started this race. Discord invite invalid. Okay, that's odd because I updated it I did update it this week. I will update that right now. Edward gets another 3-second time penalty. I will go and update that. Flame still leads 1-2-3 for XPG. I'll quickly update that for you because I'm a nice person. While we watch this all happen, I do apologise. I updated this last week. I must have not updated it right. I'll quickly do that now. I'll do that. Sorry for having a pause on the screen. I'll go and update it, and if you want to quickly check, again, I do apologise. This is horrific. This thing is in the way. I'll just quickly edit that for you so you can actually get the link, because that should have been done. Somebody was meant to have done that, probably me. Yeah, so it should be updated now. So if you wanna check that again, the link should be updated now. So it should work. Yeah, apologies once again. I don't know how long the link hasn't been working, but it is working now. But yeah, Flame. Sem now leads, but XPG running 1-2-3. Very, very solid from all of them, which is good to see. Really nice to see that everybody's running 1-2-3. But yeah. So yeah, Alvin, the Discord link should be working now. Yeah. Back onto the subject. Christix back past his teammate Callum. This is where Geekin might have a problem, because the AB drivers are going to be using DRS and helping each other to get closer to him when he doesn't have either of those things. When he doesn't have DRS, when he doesn't have a teammate to help him. That's going to really be, in my opinion, it's going to be Geekin's biggest problem in this race, is going to be that. That is going to be his biggest problem. Yeah, coming round, Edward gets another 3-second time penalty. Jesus. It's not going well for AB Edward. He's having a horrific day. He's been off for the pace. I think he qualified 14th or something. Sem gets another 3-second time penalty. Powertran as well. Not going well for some drivers at all. Not going well. Flame now pulls past his teammate, or attempts to pull past his teammate, as he's going to get absolutely blocked by Brushy Pancake. We've got a bit of battling going on here at XPG. They're actually fighting each other through the first few corners. Brushy Pancake struggling to keep up a bit. Interesting. But this battling is slowing them down. It's actually allowed Spinala King, by the way, to catch up by 4/10 in the first two corners. So he actually gained massively in the first two corners over XPG. But yeah, TTRE, have they gone for the right strategy? Have they gone for the stronger strategy? Possibly. But we'll have to see, because the mediums are only lasting faster than the hard tyres, sort of 8-9 laps. So they're not going that long, sort of by lap 8, they're sort of equaling the hards, and by lap 9 and 10, they're going quite a bit slower, about 3, 4, 5 tenths slower. So the hard tyres are definitely better, but whether that's going to help TTRE here tonight, I'm not sure, because they've already got one driver outside of the top 10. The other driver, when he does finally come in for his pit stop, will be outside of the top 10. Only Spinala King and TIR Trusted left in TTRE to score points. And this is something this has been a sort of race of hell for TTRE, because they've got this massive lead in the constructors. As you've seen, they're on, I think, 137 points in the constructors. They are miles ahead of SET. But this is the one race where XPG, ABE, and SET are all performing quite well. The only team still not performing well is VEL, who are currently 14th, 16th, and 17th. By the way, VEL, I want to say this, they have been the lowest performing team. They haven't just scored the least amount of points, they've only scored 38 points in their campaign, and 99 points behind TTRE. They're also the team with the most retirements and the team with the most the team with also the most drivers finishing outside the top 10. And so this season's been very unkind, as opposed to their Tier 1 campaign, where last race they scored 6 points. Scored 6 points in Monza in Tier 1 in the last race. So they scored some decent points last time around, 6 points, but in fours it hasn't been a lot better for them. As now Trusted comes in. Where is he going to come out on these medium tyres? Because he was already quite far behind. Has this going onto the hards worked? No, it really hasn't. He's outside of the top 10, dropping down further. He drops down. Whoa, he's down to 14th in this race. He's way behind Sonic as well. He might actually get overtaken by Lumi. He actually does get overtaken by Lumi as well. That's going to be painful. 15th. And on medium tyres, it will be quicker for 7-8 laps and then will completely drop off. That's really going to hurt him when it comes down to the race. But still, 7 drivers out on the tyres they started on. 7 drivers out on hards. Still on the tyres they started on. Luxy pulls into pit lane. 10-second time penalty. Are we going to see retirement from this race? We're going to see it? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. He doesn't look like he's retiring. But he is definitely going to get lapped, sadly, by the leader of the race. Possibly by the top few. That's now Flame comes into the pits for first of the top 3 into the pits, and we also see Power Tram into the pits as well. And I think we're going to see, we're also seeing Harrison into the pits. So let's see, where's everybody going to come out? Because I know Flame is probably going to come out in front of Trusted. Because Trusted is here, he's coming round now. Where's he going to actually come out in all of this? He's going to come out. He's up to 13th. He's up to 12th. And once Lumi gets out of the way, he'll be 11th. But still only 11th, though. This isn't good for TTRE. 11th, 14th, and 17th at the moment. Spinala King yet to stop. But this has not been a good pit stop for them. The strategy has not worked out because they've dropped far down the order. They're not where they're supposed to be. They're very much on their own here, and this is going to be a problem for Trusted. Is that he's now so far behind. Even the likes of P9, he's over 5 seconds behind. It's not looking good for him. But Sem, Brushy Pancake into the pits now. The other 2 XPGs. Flume also in. 3 drivers all in. Another 3. And I think we have Luxy. Luxy does retire and becomes our one and only retirement so far of the race. 19 laps in. The only driver who hasn't stopped in this race and has shown it throughout. There's only 2 drivers, who haven't stopped. That's Spinala and Lumi, who both haven't stopped in this entire race. Geekin's lost the lead, by the way. He's lost the lead now, the net lead. So, I don't really know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say, because he was leading by... He had about 1.5 seconds over the ABE drivers. Now he's behind both of them. It just hasn't worked out for him. It's been an awful sort of pit stop. The strategy hasn't worked. He's now behind, and he's being chased down by a very fast Flame. Yeah, things not going perfectly well for him tonight. Things going quite badly for him tonight, I will say that. Yeah, tyres, very mixed, mostly on mediums now, but some on hards, as we can see now. Spinala King comes in, and ABE will resume the lead of tonight's race. ABE now resume the lead for the first time in, 8 laps? So we've had a couple of other teams lead. It was XPG for 9 of those laps. Out of the 8 laps, ABE haven't led. Out of the 8 laps, ABE haven't led. XPG led 7 of them. And TTRE did actually lead a lap tonight. They led just 1 lap in this entire race. It's almost been a bit of a... It's, how do you say it? Sort of a fall from grace for TTRE tonight, because they've gone 4 races in a row of winning. Only team to, there's no other team that's done that in any tier we've ever had or any season we've had, to win all of the opening 4 races, have the most podiums, most wins, have the biggest lead in the championship after 4 races as well, the biggest lead out of any team, but ever. And all of a sudden, we come into this, we come into this race at Qatar. They don't have a good qualifying. They haven't had a good race. They're only on for 3 points as it stands, possibly more with penalties. But, and they've got their one of their championship rivals, ABE, fighting, for a 1-2 finish, on for 44 points. They've got SET breathing down their neck or ahead. Here comes Flame, by the way. Flame trying to get past. I've just noticed Flame has creeped up to the back of this group. He's now all over the back of the group. He's fighting over this one. Down the inside he goes. Bit of a tap with Chris Sticks. And ultimately, the battle has now begun. Into these final few laps, there's now a 4-way fight for the win, by the way. It's no longer a 3-way fight that it's been for pretty much this entire race. It's now a 4-way. It's now become a 4-way fight. And we've got 3 teams in here, all fighting for a victory in Qatar. And at the moment, XPG might be at the top of that list. Whenever I watch Flame in this race, he's slow. I sort of notice he's slowly creeped up the order. He's very much done well on these mediums, but they're going to start to drop off soon. In the next, by sort of lap 25, they might drop off. So this is why I think he's having such a big push now, is because he's got to make moves and he's got to gain positions. Now, he does make the move on Christix, and onto the podium goes XPG. And that is now 3 different teams on the podium, which would be if I stand correct, the first time this season that we've had 3 different teams on the podium. This has also allowed, by the way, Brushy Pancake to also catch up to this. So this has now become... And also Sem. So we do have a 6-way fight for the win. We've got side-by-side between Geekin and Flame battling it out for second place. And Flame ultimately claims that position. Yeah, we haven't had it this season, actually. We have not had a... we have had 3 different teams on the podium once this season. Only once so far. And that was in round 3 with TTRE, AB, and VEL all on the podium. But that is all. Flame making his way round to attack the race leader and take the lead of the race. And change the lead once again back to XPG. And back to Williams leading the race. Christix down to P6 now, so AB not getting away with this, but it is now a 6-way fight, by the way. We've now got a 6-way fight, but those mediums will start to hurt towards the end of the race. And it's turn 1. We've also got Geekin going for a move. Geekin's made the move. Past Callum. Have AB just lost? They're what looked like to be an easy 1-2 finish. I think they have. And going for the faster first stint has maybe lost them out in the second stint. Because Flame is now pulling away into the lead. So we might see an XPG victory. And with that, by my understanding, XPG would ultimately win the Constructors' battle with ABE. And also pull ahead of SET and pull up into second in the Constructors. Ahead of both. Yeah, this isn't going well. Spinala also got a 3-second time penalty. This is not going to help him. Sem now up into third, battling past Callum, still side by side into the triple right-hander. Whoa! Big moment there. Callum drops down the order. He's ghosting with Brushy Pancake. But that was a big incident, and that might get reported. But overall, I would say we've had a pretty clean race. We've had a pretty clean race, in my opinion, and it's going pretty well, I think, for everybody. I don't think we've had any problems until that moment, of course, where we might start to see some problems in the stewards' office. And now Sem goes for P2. Brushy Pancake now going for P2. But it looks like it's now going to be an XPG 1-2-3. Or at least an XPG 1-2 at the end of the day with Flame and Brushy Pancake. So it looks like we're going to see a complete change within the championship. We're going to see XPG pulling off the biggest points in this race out of anyone. Sem struggling a little bit on his mediums. He's getting tapped on the rear by Geekin. He's used a lot of ERS, or he is charging. But Sem, he's playing the team game. He's slowing down. He's slowing down everyone else. He's slowing down Geekin, Callum, and Christix, so they can't catch his 2 teammates in front. This is complete brilliant strategy coming from XPG at the moment. They're using their slowest driver with a penalty to slow down the rest of them, so they can't catch the race leaders. We're going to see Sem drop down the order to P6 after this straight, because he's getting attacked from everywhere, but he has held everybody up over this lap. And this is just amazing strategy and amazing teamwork coming from XPG. And now heading down this back straight. The main thing here for Sem is to hold everyone up. Is he going to be able to do that? No, he won't. Almost 3 wide. He's going to have to fight Geekin at least. And Geekin not letting him through. Sem still there. He's trying to battle. He goes off the track. Whoa! Massive wobble for Sem. And that now finds him P4. But that hasn't helped. That's actually hurt XPG slightly, because it now means that they've got at least one driver has now gotten through in one attack. And Sem is now might drop down the order a little bit further. But yeah, it's looking like an interesting night here. Between everybody, we're going to at least see 2 different constructors on the podium. But I think we're definitely going to be seeing a 1-2 from XPG, which is a very big change here tonight. the battle, the battle over the podium and the win has been fierce today. And we can see the three drivers all in this picture of Christix, Callum, and Geekin. They've been sort of the three drivers we've probably most focused on during this entire race. But the drivers that we, of course, didn't necessarily notice was, for instance, was drivers like Sem or Flame or Brushy Pancake, who are currently battling it out, by the way, for the lead of the race. Teammates going for it. Flame wants the win, and then Brushy Pancakes wants the win. They're both actually fighting over this. This is really, whoa, down the inside. They're going to be losing time to this. They're going to be losing huge amounts of time because they are battling, and this isn't what teammates should be doing. They should leave the battles till the final lap and not in the final four. But yeah, I have to say the team that hasn't come away well today, and the team that's... The two teams that have not come away well, and those two teams are TTRE and VEL. VEL 13th, 14th, and 15th. TTRE, 11th, 12th, 17th, and 6th. As now Callum, he spun it! Callum spun, he has gone round, and that is Callum down to 11th, and ABE's hopes and dreams of a podium look like they're fading away bit by bit, and a win seems to be fading away. Sem has dropped down the order, though. He has dropped down. Callum now retires. One out on track, which isn't allowed. But Callum now retires, and it's a second retirement. Out of 4 drivers tonight, 2 have retired from ABE, and that is disappointment. But they are fighting for a podium once again. ABE on the battle for the podium. But we do know XPG will now jump ABE in the standings. They will jump them up to, of course, the position of 3rd at least, but most likely they might jump up to 2nd in the constructors. And TTRE not looking like they're going to be having a great day, because they only at the moment on their way for, I believe, AB Edward also retires. Only one ABE driver left. One driver left out of them all. Disappointing night it has been for ABE. A 1-2 it was looking like. Now it's only 12 points. It's not even 12 points on the cards, by the way, because the points are different in fours. Of course, a win is only 18 points. Fastest lap and pole do make up an extra point each, making up to 20 points. So a driver can at maximum score 20 points in a race. And so ABE at the moment, if I'm correct, they'll be walking away with just 12. They will be walking away with just 12 points, as I think. They will just be walking away with 12 points still, as they got pole. But that's it. Really frustrating night, I'd say, for ABE, only walking away with, the tiny and miniature sort of, 12 points, which could have been very different. They could have been walking away with, they could have been walking away with a huge amount more. I think they would have been walking away with, I think 35 points was what they were walking away with at the start of tonight's race. Now they're only walking away with 12 at the end of the day. At the moment, if they finish where they are, they'll walk away with 12. Which would only currently bring them to 65 points in the constructors. Not what they needed. Really were hoping to get to over 80 or 90 points. Whoa, what is going on? Holy, Sem getting blocked all the way by Christix. Now Sem drops down to 5th. He's now into Spinala's hands. But it is all going crazy now. And you could see going on to the final lap, we will have a battle for the lead. It is Flame versus Brushy Pancakes as we go on to lap 29 of 29. Final lap. Flame pulls out to the outside line. Flame takes the lead into turn 1. It's the only DRS point on the entire track, but they're still going very close side by side. It's going to be all the battle for the rest of the lap. You can see we've got battling over 3rd. Sem and Geekin fighting over this 3rd place here. Can see, whoa, Spinala King's lost out quite heavily. It looks like he's had a bit of a half spin. He's down to 7th now, so drop it down even further. Can see Sem battling with Geekin over the podium. Who is going to get this? Geekin round the outside. Now, you can see into the hairpin they go. Who's going to come out on top here? Geekin or Sem? Still side by side. Geekin's got the run into the next corner, still going side by side, leaving racing room, which is amazing to see. We don't usually see this, but ultimately Sem has come out on top. Of course, with that penalty, he will still drop down to 5th at the moment. So it is maybe falling apart just a little bit for the moment. Now, as you can see, Brushy Pancake coming round the penultimate corner into the final corner. It will be an XPG victory. It will be in red. The Sky Ferrari wins tonight here in FRLT. Flame finishes 2nd, just 36 thousandths behind. Geekin finishes off the podium here tonight. SCT gain it. Sem only finished 8th with his penalties at the end of the day. Now 10th with 3 points finishes for ultimately the team of... From the team of TTRE. It's solid points. I think it's 5. And then 3, I think it's 5 points. And then it goes down to 3 points. And then 2. So it will only be 10 points for TTRE, so up to 147 points in the championship. Only another 10 points, up to 147 in total. SCT walking away with quite a bit more, I'd say. 13 points coming for 3rd place. And then another 10 to 23. So about 31 points by my calculations, 31 points coming for them. So they will go up to 102 points in the standings, bringing it down to just a 45-point gap in the constructors from the current, I think it's 66-point gap. So bring it down massively by 21 points, but on the top step. But let's go through it now. XPG finished 1-2 after an exhilarating race right up to the line. Geekin finishes 3rd and finishes off the podium. Christix is 4th, followed by Flume in 5th, Powertwan in 6th, Spinalo in 7th, and then, yes, TTRE do get an 8th and 9th in the end, with Sem finishing out the top 10. Sonic is 11th, followed by Pavanir, Zalix, Lumi, It's Wooder, and our retirements being AB Edward, AB Callum, and AB Luxy. So, that is the race over and finished for tonight. That is that. Ah, what a race it was. Something rather different this week, I will say. Something rather different. We don't usually see it that often, but tonight we have. Ultimately, that is the end of the night. Let's look to how the rest of the season will be looking with the calendar. I haven't got it for the stream, but I have got it here on my screen. We've now completed, before the winter break, we completed the first 4 races: Austria, Monza, Japan, and Las Vegas, before we went for the winter break. And now we have completed Qatar. Next week, we go to China for round number 6, before we have a break week where we then go for Bahrain, Belgium, and Great Britain. That is the calendar. Ultimately, if you guys have enjoyed it, please think about subscribing and leaving a like. Also, make sure to click on that notification bell to know about all the content we'll be doing here in FRLT. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I'll see you very soon. Also, big thanks to our affiliates, SRC. Their link to their Discord server is down below in the description. Hope you guys have a great week. And I'll be seeing you once again on Wednesday when we return for Tier 1. Thank you. Good night. I'll see you soon. Bye.